Hello and welcome to The Object Live. A big thank you to Dexter, who's running the show tonight and is running a speakeasy up in the projection booth. Now, it's a family show. Only Shirley Temple's up there tonight. Thank you also to our sponsor, Ameriprise Financial. I believe we have some Ameriprise folks here tonight. Thank you for coming. If you're in the market for a new financial planner, see them after the show. They'll be up in the speakeasy. We've got a great show for you tonight. Jan Poling is here. And we are recording tonight, so please don't be quiet. If we wanted complete silence, we would have taped this over in St. Paul. No, come on. They're going to get plenty of love. It's also after 7, so that wouldn't have worked. It is the 100th anniversary of the Great Gatsby, right? By St. Paul's own F. Scott Fitzgerald. A book about the perils of obsessing over the past, something we would never do here at a museum. It is also the night before Halloween, and I know you have a choice in where you go dressed as gangsters and flappers, so thank you for spending absolutely nothing to be here with us tonight. How many of you have read The Great Gatsby? Okay, in the last 35 years. Well, all right, I'll take you at your word. Well, let's see how much you remember. Let's get started with our first quiz of the night. Putting on the Ritz. Can I get 2 volunteers from the audience to play with me tonight? Follow me up here. Who do we have here tonight?
I'm Gloria Weber.
Gloria, all right.
Brock Hebner.
Brock or Rock?
Brock.
Brock, okay. Are either of you from St. Paul? All right, no advantages here tonight. All right. You can follow along on the screen. We have 3 questions about the Great Gatsby and about F. Scott and St. Paul, all right? You are a team, so please consult each other. You're not competing with each other, okay? All right. Question number 1. F. Scott Fitzgerald was born in 1896 in St. Paul, where he lived off and on until 1922. How did he describe his hometown in The Great Gatsby? Was it A, another Siberia unfit for human habitation? Was it B, sleigh bells in the frosty dark and the shadows of holly wreaths thrown by lighted windows on the snow? Or was it C, a shining city on a hill with plenty of free parking? What do you think?
We're going to go with B.
You're going to go with B. You are right. The answer is B. A nice job. Though a writer did call St. Paul another Siberia in the 1800s, which is what launched the St. Paul Carnival, so everyone could know just exactly how cold it was here, actually. All right, ready for question number 2? All right. One of the following phrases is from the famous last line of The Great Gatsby. All right, and the rest are lyrics from the band Styx. Which phrase is from the book's famous last line? Is it A, touching me gently with the waters that flow past my boat? Is it B, but we'll try the best that we can to carry on? Is it C, and so we beat on, boats against the current? Or is it D, domo arigato, Mr. Roboto? I leave that to you to decide.
Go for it. I'm going to go out on a limb and say C.
You would be right. The answer is C. The full sentence, of course, is, and so we beat on, boats against the current, borne back ceaselessly into the past. But you can see why Styx was considered Like, the most literary band of this. No one ever said that. Until now. All right, last question. You're doing well so far. Fitzgerald's wife, Zelda, was called the first American flapper. What did she say about their daughter, Scotty, when she was born here in St. Paul? A line Fitzgerald later used in The Great Gatsby. Was it A, she has your looks and my brains? Was it B, I hope she'll be a beautiful little fool? Or was it C, she looks so innocent, are we sure she's ours?
That would be B.
All right, we're going right for it. You would be right, yes. In the book, the line becomes, that's the best thing a girl can be in this world, a beautiful little fool. Thank you so much for playing. Thank you for being here. Well, my guest today has... All right, you see, this is why we tell people to turn it. Oh, shit, that's me.
Hi, Tim.
Lori Williamson, everyone, who created the Gatsby at 100 exhibit upstairs.
I know you're busy with your podcast people and the ever fabulous Chan polling, but I thought that they might want to know just a little bit about jazz age and art.
Yeah, that sounds great.
I think what is going on in this period is utter rebellion. Society has come out of World War I. It was an excuse to party, to get rid of the old, to burn it down, and create a new. And so I think the streamlined nature is a rebellion against the Gilded Age. The parents of the people in the 20s are Gilded Age folks, right? With the overly ornate and just kind of gushing, frivolity and just everything being done to the 10th degree. Young people of the 20s, because of course it's always young people, are really rebelling against that. And they're like, let's cut it down. Let's cut our hair up. Let's make our dresses, still embellished and beautiful, but in a cleaner, more specific way. I would like to share with you, if I might, this quote from an F. Scott Fitzgerald story. This is from Bernice Bobs Her Hair, literally short story about getting her haircut. Do you believe in bobbed hair? I think it's unmoral, Bernice said gravely. But of course, you've either got to amuse people or feed them or shock them. The way that Fitzgerald uses language bowls me over every time by the utter beauty and simplicity of it, sort of. It's really funny. He does this thing where he gets so close to purple prose when he's describing how beautiful something is, but then he always pulls back in a very, very modern way. And I think that reminds me so much of the art of the period. It's just like, you're using these lines, but to their best end. You don't need more. Nothing is wasted. Fitzgerald, all his life, always felt that he was both inside and outside society, his community. He grew up around the rich people, but he wasn't quite one of them. And he always felt bad about that. But he also could see things in a way that they couldn't. He loves and honors the American dream by making it so real in his story, but he's also showing that the underpinnings that it's based on are shoddy. He's feeling stuff, but he also knows better. And this is absolutely true for Gatsby, because Gatsby is just completely overwhelmed by his passion, even when he knows he should be doing better. But I think the best example of all of it is Nick. He's the narrator. And the way that he thinks about Gatsby, I think, is the most telling. He loves and adores and appreciates him and knows that he's not trustworthy. He knows he's kind of crooked, but he still can't pull himself away from the promise of Gatsby, I think. To me, reading the book and looking at the art that we have on display in Gatsby at 100 is a reminder that all great art and all great stories are an opportunity to bring us home, to bring us back to ourselves, to remember what truly matters to us and what is important.
Well, Lori, we got to go.
Okay, bye, Tim. Bye, all our listeners. Thank you so much for being part of this.
Lori Williamson, everyone. Definitely go see the Great Gatsby at 100 show if you haven't seen it yet upstairs. All right. My guest today has made rock and roll. He has made musicals about murder. He has made love. He has made Love the Law. He is still performing with the band he started in 1977, the Suburbs. His holiday shows with the new standards make the holidays themselves seem anticlimactic. He has recently created 2 children's books with Lucy Michelle. He is a gentleman and a scholar and the best-dressed man in show business. Please welcome Chan Poling.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Well, when I said you were the best-dressed man in show business, I meant it. You look it tonight.
Well, I was thinking, what would F. Scott wear? And so here I found my tweed and my pinstripes, and here we are. Everyone looks lovely. Everyone looks marvelous tonight, especially you, if I may say so. But we'll talk about that later.
You know, I think when we first met to talk about this show, you had said you were sort of a Gatsby-esque character. Yeah, no, you did, and I see it. You dress well, you live well. You have that little green light at the end of your driveway. Yeah.
Actually, above my door is a red light, and that's a true story, and I don't know what that means, but
I don't either. We probably shouldn't talk about that.
But don't show up unannounced anyway.
Somewhere I read that your St. Paul home was designed by the same architect as the guy who designed the row houses that Fitzgerald lived in.
It's true. I live in a Clarence Johnson house, who also designed Glenn Sheen.
Oh, yeah. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That blew my mind, but you might know what that means later.
Yeah. We'll get to that. Yeah. I love this quote that I read somewhere from Jeffrey Hatcher, who has been your collaborator on many musicals now, many shows. I think he described you as kind of a punk rock Bing Crosby. Kind of a dandy who goes home and then jams like mad. I think it was.
I'll take that. I do love to golf, so. You know who golfs? Other musicians who golf? Iggy Pop.
Is that right?
Iggy Pop is a great golfer.
I can't see it.
And, Alice Cooper. I mean, you probably know that. Yeah.
Iggy Pop, does he wear like a golf? I can't see him in like a golf shirt.
He's just naked.
Any shirt,
he's
really.
Half nude, yeah.
Where did your sense of style and aesthetics come from? Is that something that have you always enjoyed the way things look and sound and things like that?
My grandfather was a haberdasher. He ran Poling's men's store in Ottumwa, Iowa. And so I always saw, and my dad was beautiful dresser, dressed beautifully. And so I was, as a kid, those were my role models, like your grandfather and your dad. So, of course, I rebelled against it as long as I could, but it just kind of in me, I guess.
Yeah. As I understand your sort of musical origins, you're originally from Chicago area, right? And then
right, along with all the other gangsters, yeah.
Yeah. And then you're growing up in the western suburbs here, is that right?
Yeah, my folks moved to Wayzata when I was a youngster. Yeah, Wayzata! Woo! Everybody loves Wayzata.
We got one.
The people love Wayzata.
That's right. So
it's the people's town.
Is it? Yeah. It's the People's Museum in Wayzata.
Yeah. The people with money town. Yeah.
That's right. Your people. There was a piano at a friend's house. That's the legend that I've heard. And you.
It's a mild legend.
It's a very mild legend.
Yeah, but
you discovered this piano, and that was it. What sort of drew you to that? What were you playing?
I was a kid that liked to play the piano, which is not usual. I mean, most kids rebel against lessons, and I actually asked my mom if I could take lessons and can I get a piano and can I study the piano when I was 8 years old.
Oh, wow.
And so I was one of those guys.
Yeah, well, yeah, not many.
Yeah,
I think.
I know. I loved it. I loved it.
What were you playing? Was it classical? Was it jazz?
Well, I did the usual stuff, but then when it got to the point of my teacher put Bach etudes in front of me, or let's learn a Mozart piece. Once we kind of got to that level where I was going to start to go into the classic, pursue that. I said, could we learn the theme from James Bond? and she to her credit, she went, oh, he likes pop music. He likes, film music and pop music and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so she got me that music.
Oh, really?
So my first recital was, You Only Live Twice. And that's true, a true story. Yeah.
As we heard from our curator, jazz and the jazz age was kind of this rebellion. And I wonder if jazz for you was also kind of a rebellion, like in that time when you were probably supposed to play those Bach etudes. And
if we're going to be honest here, we might as well just talk honestly, right? I mean, here we're all friends here. I kind of have a complex relationship with jazz. I'm finding that it seems to be a little ossified as an art form. It seems to be almost as ossified as classical can be.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, I don't mean completely frozen and worthless, not useful, but it seems to be an historical a thing that happened in a certain time,
right? Preserved in amber.
It's preserved in amber,
yeah.
But it's lovely, and amber is lovely. But I've always tried to kind of pursue music that's happening now, or try to write something newer.
Mm-hmm.
But I love jazz too, and I studied it for many years. As a matter of fact, when I was studying composition at Cal Arts, a big part of my training was with jazz. Bud Powell was teaching there, and we had great teachers. So I'm in that world, but I'm not in that world. So,
right.
Just to be honest.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
I'm sure there's some real jazzers out there that go, Polling's, whatever. It's not my, but I love it. But I don't. So
I can just picture, like here you are as a kid, really, and the kids are listening to, I don't know, the Archies or something, or Foghat. I mean, I don't even know, but and here you are, I don't know, Dave Brubeck or something.
Yeah, actually, I was listening to Dave Brubeck, and I had a great, my everyone's like this, right? You have when you're a kid, you've got your parents' record collection. That's what you've got to listen to because you don't know yet, or your big brother or big sister. And luckily, I had a cool big brother, and he we like bring the Beatles records back home and stuff like that. And but are you interested in what I grew up listening to?
Kind of.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. What was going on in Wayzata? What was on the hi-fi?
It was the stockbrokers radio playlist. No, this is kind of interesting. My friend wrote the music column for the Sun newspapers.
Oh.
His dad owned the Sun newspapers.
Okay. All right.
And his job, he's like our age. when we were 14 or whatever, and he wrote the music column for Sun newspapers. So all of the record companies delivered all of their new releases to his front door every week. So we were just kids in a candy store. We go down to the mailbox and we'd open up and there'd be brand new. But the cool thing was it was all the new releases. So we weren't listening to what's on the radio. It was like we get the new Captain Beefheart record. Or the new Joni Mitchell record, or the new Long John Baldry, or Dan Hicks and the Hot Licks, or Leo Kottke, and all sorts of stuff that you weren't quite listening to. If you listen to the radio,
AM radio.
But that's So we had that perk when we were kids. It was very cool.
So you go off to Cal Arts. You're studying some jazz, but when you come back, you found the Suburbs, which is a little more punk rock, more new wave punk rock. And I wonder, because you guys hit it big quickly, and I wonder what that was like, at a young age.
I'm still recovering.
Yeah.
Well, the one thing I can say about that time was you have to understand that, the whole musical landscape, the pop landscape was all, you'd have Foreigner and Styx and Toto and, yacht rock was big, and Hall & Oates and stuff like this. And so that was what we grew up with. And I was like, F that. This is what I have to listen to? I don't. So, and I'm not the only guy. I'm sure people in this audience that lived through that, and all my colleagues out in the music world, we all went, there's got to be something else. There's got to be something more immediate and something that's new, something that's reminds you what rock and roll really is.
Yeah.
What
that spirit was.
Yeah. I still shudder. Even though, I Want to Know What Love Is by Foreigner is a damn good song, though. That's another story. Songwriting.
It's
But
on the
as
next quiz.
as far as the scene goes, there was nothing happening. But then all of a sudden, I heard Sex Pistols and I heard Talking Heads. These guys are all about 10 years older than me. So they were the next wave, the new wave. And where I was going to school out in LA, there was the Screamers and the Weirdos and, Oingo Boingo and stuff like that. And it was brand new. This was brand new. It was an actual bona fide watershed moment in musical culture. Do you agree? Can you give me some applause on that? It really was a thing that happened,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so one of the things about F. Scott Fitzgerald, right, is that he's from the Midwest.
Right.
And he always sort of felt self-conscious about that. And I wonder, when you were in the throes of that, building that rock and roll career, how that, being from here shaped your creativity in your career. Did it ever, did it help or hinder in any way?
Yeah. Prince was always loyal here. We went out right away from the local bars, and we toured. We went out to California and New York, and we never went to Europe of all places. You think that's because a lot of stuff was happening in London and stuff like that. But we were part of the New York scene and the LA scene. Like, I remember the Bangles opened up for us. No. Who was the one? What was the other? They were older than that. Go-Go's.
Go-Go's? I'm hearing Go-Go's.
The Go-Go's.
That seems right.
Yeah. They opened up for us. REM used to open up. Anyway, so we were out in the world, and we'd come back to Minnesota and, you know, build snowmen with our
Yeah.
and
You
enjoy.
stayed humble.
And stay humble. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, we were out. I never left Minnesota. I'll go home, trundle on home to my quiet St. Paul home
Yeah.
tonight. Yeah,
There
love
you
it.
go. Well, eventually you and John Munson and Steve Rome also formed the New Standards, which is kind of coalesced around Christmas, it seems. We have a clip here of the holiday show. Let's take a look.
This is a New Standards doing a Suburbs song.
Hook bone connects to the ankle bone connects to the shin bone connects to the knee bone. Now hear the word of the Lord. Been so long since I rattled my bones. Been so long. We connect. The floor starts to shake. Blood starts to boil. Bones start to break. Yeah, rattle my bones.
Rattle my bones. Yeah, that's the melding of two worlds.
That's right.
Yeah.
And you'll have your holiday show again.
Oh, yes.
December.
There's still tickets available. We're at the State Theater on December 5th and 6th.
Yeah. So at some point you also move into working on musicals and, talk about not staying in your lane, I guess. But where did your interest in musicals begin? And what spurred you to try making your own?
My musical theater birth was when my dad brought me to New York, and I saw Angela Lansbury starring in Mame when I was 10 years old. And I was in New York City watching this big, beautiful Broadway show, and it's a Julie Stein. Is that my right? Isn't that a Julie Stein score? Oh, I should know that. But anyway, big, great Broadway score. 10 years old, and I just loved it. And so that was it. And then I kept going back with my dad. He worked a lot in New York, and so I would just go, hey, can we go to the theater? And I kept on going up all the way up until he passed away, Yeah, so I love that. So I've always been into theater. As a matter of fact, when I was studying at Cal Arts, I worked a lot with the dancers and the theater people there too. So a lot of people think of me as the Suburbs guy, but I've always had this other kind of thing. And I've also had the writing thing too, not children's books. That's just an odder thing because I'm a grandpa now, but,
well, and so you've had a number of collaborations now with Jeff Hatcher.
Yeah. Well, I started out, the Suburbs really were active from 1977 to 1989, basically. And so in 1989, Theater de la Jeune Lune, do you guys know that? Remember them? The Dominique Serran and all those guys, I ended up scoring 4 shows for them in the 90s. So I've been doing musical theater and theater scorings for many years now.
Yeah. And so Glen Shane is this musical
Yeah.
about murders.
Yes.
At this mansion in Duluth. For those who don't know, Glen Sheen is this incredible kind of Gatsby-esque mansion, actually, just in Duluth. Yeah. And there were these murders in the 1970s. We have a clip from that too. Let's play that.
Has anyone seen Glen Sheen?
This is a story, a tale we know well, of greed and murder as foul as we see.
Hello, everyone. I'm Marjorie Congdon. You're about to hear certain stories. Stories about this house, my family, me, things I'm supposed to have done. Some of which may cause you to ask, what could make a woman do such things?
I'll pretend I haven't sunk so low.
I have ranch with my mother's dough and run away, run away, run away.
I'll wear my boots, bring the horses in.
I'll put something special in your gin and run away.
Run away,
run away.
Stranger things have happened.
Stranger things have happened.
People fall in love.
They fall in love. Such a strange attraction.
I don't feel so well.
You want to talk about that for a...
Oh, yeah. I don't know if I told you this, but we are opening Glen Sheen in Brussels, Belgium, in May.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. A little odd thing, but yeah, that's happening.
No, that's amazing. Yeah, it's done well. The 10th anniversary show.
Yep, it's been playing here in St. Paul for 10 years. It just keeps on going. It's the gift that keeps on giving. It's and the same cast, and just amazing. I work with Jeffrey Hatcher. Jeffrey Hatcher does a lot of, like, he wrote Dial M for Murder at the Guthrie. That was a big hit at the Guthrie last year.
Yeah.
And so, but we're doing a lot more than murder mysteries now. But that was so funny because he said, say, Chan, they want me to do the Glen Sheen murder story at the History Theater. Do you want to? And I said, this is Jeff Hatcher going, I only want to do it if it's a musical. I went, what? Count me in.
Yeah.
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 So we had to blast.
Well, so I have this memory, which I think you do not, maybe, of me coming over to the house you shared with Eleanor Mondale for an interview like 15 years ago. And you talked about and maybe even showed me some of the umbrellas of Cherbourg, which I think is like your favorite.
Just
musical.
Give me a chance and I'll show clips from Umbrellas of Cherbourg. Yeah.
Yeah.
You were very kind to watch that.
No, it was great. And of course, being at the house that you shared with Eleanor, there were these miniature ponies, and it was kind of a magic place.
It was, definitely. We miss her.
We do.
Yep. 13 years gone now.
13. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Yes. She passed away shortly after I came over, actually. This 2011. Yeah. First of all, I wonder what was it like to be sort of part of the Mondale clan for a while, and how did Eleanor's death sort of change your outlook on life and your creative?
Oh my gosh, those are big questions. You can only imagine it was just really fun to be part of that crew. It was an amazing, wonderful time. I ended up great friends with Fritz because Eleanor passed away and then Joan passed away, and it was the two of us, and we just paddled around. Ended up hanging out for years after that.
Interesting.
Spent a lot of time with them in Florida and stuff like that. But just little stories like sitting and having cereal in the kitchen, and the phone rings, and Shan, I got to get this call. It's Madeleine Albright, and we're in our bathrobes, having cereal.
Wow.
Yeah. Having
Just a day in the life.
Yeah, day in the life.
Mondays,
Just that just times 100. But and Eleanor, anyway, we won't go into. It was a great relationship, but she was the person that said to me, she goes, "Why don't you play these songs? Why, people love Rattle My Bones and Love Is the Law and those and Cows and all those songs. Why don't you?" Because I hadn't played in the Suburbs or with any kind of rock and roll band since I was, I don't know, 30, and at that point we were in our mid 40s, and she goes, "They love those songs. Why don't you go out and play them?" I said, I don't know. I don't know. I think it's time. And then we lost one of our original Suburb members, and we had a memorial service for him, a concert for him. And so I had to put together a new group of people, and we had so much damn fun, and we never stopped since. Yeah. So it was Eleanor. And also, Eleanor, John Munson and I were playing in my living room, and she goes, "This is really cool. You guys should do this on stage for people."
That's how that started.
That's a true story.
Well, she was right.
So she really, she was the instigator.
Yeah. You live in St. Paul now. You've been happily remarried for some time.
Yeah, Patty and I have been together for years now.
Yeah. What do you love about St. Paul? F. Scott Fitzgerald's home base. Is it still inspiring for a creative person?
Well, first of all, I think "Tender Is the Night" was written just kitty corner from our house down on Goodrich, the house on Goodrich. Yeah. And of course, around the corner, the row houses are there. So there's a huge Fitzgerald vibe there too. And I also spent a lot of time on White Bear Lake, and I read all the Black Bear. You guys read the Black Bear Lake stories?
Yeah, Winter Dreams.
Winter Dreams, yeah. It takes place in a country club out on Black Bear Lake.
Yeah. Nice.
Just think about that. So it's imbued in that, but it's also, there's something about that spirit of, I don't know. It seems like St. Paul is the place that you go when you grow up.
well
it's
said,
it's quieter. I get off the plane when I'm traveling. I get off the plane, come in, cross over go through Minneapolis. It's, Minneapolis is, talk about flappers. It's full of Minneapolis is full of flappers.
It's one big speakeasy.
And then I come over across the bridge, and all of a sudden, all the trees, you just get surrounded by trees, and it's all quiet, and all the lights diminish, and
it's like a resort.
It's there. It's I don't want to give the joys of St. Paul away too much, but
no, you don't want to spoil the fun.
Of course, but I wouldn't have moved there until I was 45, 50 years old. I think I was about 50.
Sure, that's right. Well, thank you so much for.
Oh, thanks for having me.
It's been a pleasure. We'll have you back.
Have I bored you terribly? No. Okay. Thank you.
We'll have you back for the second quiz of the night.
Oh, we're gonna kick ass.
That's right.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm going to do some storytelling. Yes. Let's go back to January 4th, 1915, in St. Paul, where F. Scott Fitzgerald is home on winter break from Princeton, a college he will later call the pleasantest country club in America. 19 years old and one of the worst students in the college. He will never do better than a B+ in his English classes, But he will write the lyrics to more songs for the school's drama club than anyone before or since. Cynical, critical, bored, and analytical, nouveau riche or pedigreed of a higher petty breed. A song being performed that winter on a cross-country tour, which Fitzgerald is forbidden to join because his grades are so bad. And so, here he is on Summit Avenue, in the city, as he puts it, of winter dreams. A place to imagine the warmth of other places, other people. Ooh la la, love is like a game of chance. Love is like roulette, he wrote for the winter musical. Ooh la la, you may find some romance. Play then, though it bring regret. That afternoon, Fitzgerald goes to a sledding party. He meets a girl, 16 years old, with dark hair and large eyes, visiting a friend from boarding school in Connecticut. Ginevra, same name as her mom, after the painting by Leonardo da Vinci. Ginevra King from Lake Forest outside Chicago, the daughter of a wealthy stockbroker. And when she and Fitzgerald meet, ooh la la. That evening, King writes in her diary like a telegram, Scott, perfectly darling. And the next day, am absolutely gone on Scott. Back at school, King writes to Fitzgerald and asks for his photograph. She signs the letter, yours thickly sometimes, but devotedly at present. Sometimes he goes to see her in Connecticut, but mostly it is a relationship of letters, a winter dream that goes on and on. Oh, Scott, she writes him that March, why aren't we somewhere else tonight? Why aren't we at a dance in summer now, with a full moon, a big lovely garden, and soft music? Well, until in the spring of 1916, King writes to say that she has been expelled, along with her friends, that they had been talking to boys from their dormitory window, that the headmistress had called them bold bad hussies. So he goes to see her at the family home. Who knows if King's father really says these words? Poor boys shouldn't think of marrying rich girls. But after the visit to Chicago, the letters from King begin to slow. And by January 1917, the winter dream is melted. Fitzgerald takes it well. He drops out of Princeton and joins the army. He writes to King, please destroy my letters. She writes back, I have destroyed your letters, so you needn't be afraid that they will be held up as incriminating evidence. They were harmless. I never did think they meant anything. Yeah. If it isn't too much trouble, she adds, you might destroy mine too. Within a year, King is engaged to a friend of her father. She writes Fitzgerald, to say I am the happiest girl on earth would be expressing it mildly. So there's Fitzgerald, now a soldier in Alabama. No degree, no girl. But he has a newspaper report of King's wedding, which he places next to her handkerchief in his scrapbook, and writes the end of a once poignant story. He has a story that King had written in her telegrammatic prose and sent him about a beautiful but restless wife who goes looking for an old flame, now rich and famous in the movie business, named Fitzgerald. He has her letters, which he has typed up and placed in a 3-ring binder with the note, property of F. Scott Fitzgerald. And he takes all this and he begins to write. By 1922, just 5 years after the breakup, Fitzgerald is in fact rich and famous and married, with 2 novels that define what he calls the Jazz Age. That year, he writes a story about a young man named Dexter from Minnesota who wants to be old money but has no money. A caddy at the resort in Black Bear Lake who meets a rich, pretty girl named Judy Jones and quits rather than carry her clubs. He calls the story Winter Dreams. Its first line about the changing seasons, when the days become crisp and gray, in the long Minnesota winter shut down like the white lid of a box. Dexter becomes rich and happy in New York. Judy becomes ugly and sad. It is, he says, a first draft for his next book, which he's calling Trimalchio in West Egg. A novel so great, so American, he believes, that he writes the cover blurb before he's even finished the book. One of the half-dozen masters of the English prose now writing in America. Well, in fact, Fitzgerald has always second-guessed himself. There's a story about Fitzgerald and Hemingway at a bar in Paris. Fitzgerald confiding that Zelda complains about him in bed. That, quote, the way I was built, I could never make any woman happy. A matter of measurements. Come out to the office, Hemingway tells him. Where's the office? Les water. And so they go to the bathroom. And Hemingway looks and says, you're perfectly fine. Fine. Hemingway is always saying things like this to Fitzgerald. And now Fitzgerald is struggling to finish this book until the editor shows him a cover painting. For Christ's sake, Fitzgerald writes him, don't give anyone that jacket you're saving for me. The painting is of a woman's eyes in the sky, a green tear falling onto the bright lights in big city below. Painted by a Spanish artist, paid $100 and never heard from again. I've written it into the book, Fitzgerald says of the picture. The girl, as the Midwestern narrator puts it, whose disembodied face floated along the dark cornices and blinding signs of New York at night. The beautiful but restless wife, with the dock in Long Island lit with a single green light, which Gatsby can see from the home he bought to be closer to her, as near the star to the moon. I think I'm done, Fitzgerald writes his editor in the fall of 1924. Also, I like my title. No one likes your title, his editor writes back. Fine, how about just Trimalchio? How about The Great Gatsby? When the book comes out in 1925, it barely sells. This story, one critic says, is obviously unimportant and not too probable at that. Hemingway hates the cover. The book, he says, is fine. Fitzgerald blames the title, but he never gets over the criticism, the unimportant, the not too probable. Years later, he writes a list of the book's 9 chapters and cites his sources. The old money families he knew in St. Paul, the wedding of Ginevra King. He marks only 3 chapters as truly fiction. Well, Fitzgerald moves to Hollywood in 1937. Finally, the rich and famous movie man that King had envisioned as Fitzgerald, though no longer as rich or famous as he was. Dear Scott, I don't know where you are living, the author Thomas Wolfe writes him that year, and I'll be damned if I believe anyone lives in a place called the Garden of Allah. But that is where he lives, on Sunset Boulevard, with Dorothy Parker and other writers grabbing some Hollywood cash. Fitzgerald hates almost everything about Hollywood. To say I'm disillusioned is putting it mildly, he writes a producer, after most of his dialogue is cut. And so he drinks and has affairs. And it's then in 1937 that Ginevra King seeks him out. She is divorced now, and she travels to California and waits for him in a bar. She was the first girl I ever loved, Fitzgerald tells his daughter, and I have faithfully avoided seeing her up to this moment to keep that illusion perfect. But he goes. King gamely asks which of his characters he modeled after her, and Fitzgerald replies, "Which bitch do you think you are?" King will tell her daughter back in Chicago that the encounter left her heartsick, that she had always found Fitzgerald very bright, very witty, but also on the outside looking in. Fitzgerald, in one of his last letters to his agent, will say, "I've never been able to forgive the rich for being rich." King is 48 and married again in the mid-1940s when she gets a new letter from a young man at Princeton. Fitzgerald has been dead for years, but The Great Gatsby is finally a hit. And now a student wants to write the first book about its author. King takes a year to write back. "I've been pondering your letter ever since it arrived. My romance, if one can call it that, with Scott, was conducted primarily in correspondence. 12 to 20 pages. It's too bad I didn't keep some of his letters, as they seemed very clever to my adolescent mind. I may have a few tucked away in a trunk, and as soon as I recover from a current attack of sciatica, I will dig around and see what I can find." That's our story for tonight. All right, our last quiz of the day. Let's get Chan back up here. And let's get another volunteer from the audience. Who wants to play with Chan? All right, you, Sarah, I can see you right here in front. Thank you. All right, your name, sir?
I'm James Thorson.
James meet Chan.
James, hello.
James.
Hello.
You are a team.
Excited to meet Chan.
All right.
It's exciting,
awesome.
isn't it? Oh, boy.
All right. You ready? First question.
All right.
The first movie version of The Great Gatsby came out in 1926, only a year after the book. What was F. Scott and Zelda's reaction to this silent film? Was it A, "Jeepers, it's just the lizard's gizzard, no phonus balonus"? Or was it B, with actors this lousy, be grateful they can only be seen and not heard? Or was it C, "It's rotten and awful and terrible and we left"? A lot of discussion up here. What do we think?
Give us 2 more minutes. We're going to say C.
You're going to say C? The answer is C.
Oh!
It's rotten and awful and we left. Sounds a little like Hemingway, actually, who Zelda also thought was rotten and awful and terrible. All right, question number 2. In 1956, the first musical version of The Great Gatsby was performed at Yale. Which of these actual songs was in the show? Was it A, "Please Don't Turn Up Your Nose at Me"? Was it B, "I'm Feeling Like a Million"? Or was it C, "I've Never Seen a Straight Banana"?
Can I steal that last title?
I think it's all yours at this point. Statute of limitations.
We're feeling like a million here.
Yeah, that would fit the theme.
Well, that's good because you didn't win, but you didn't get that right. It is actually, "Please Don't Turn Up Your Nose at Me." You still have that shot at
Are you
straight
kidding
banana.
me?
I have no idea what that song is about, but you can find it on YouTube. I did. So,
Did you?
I did. It's
Okay.
out there.
All right.
All right. Final chance. Question number 3. The 2013 Great Gatsby film starring Leo DiCaprio was one of the most hyped movies ever. Which of the following was an actual marketing tie-in with the movie? Was it A, special Chanel fragrance called Eau de Gatsby made of dollar bills and DiCaprio's bathwater? Was it B, a chance to win DiCaprio's voice on your answering machine saying, "Hello, old sport"? That's right. Or was it C, The Great Gatsby package at the Trump Hotel, 3 nights overlooking Central Park, a magnum of champagne, and a personal note from Ivanka Trump.
Sort of gaudy thing that would the Trump Hotel would be kind of.
I know, but
gaudy sort of thing
we're going to
that
say
would
C, but we're
Yeah.
with protestation.
Yeah.
Under duress,
Under duress, under protest. Yeah.
you would be correct.
All right. Thank you, Jim. All right. Thank you.
Great work, guys.
Thank you.
I'd love to know what those personal notes from Ivanka Trump said, but
Thank you. Good hanging
thank
out
you
with
so much for being here.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for,
Get the full grip. There we go.
there we go. Thanks so much for playing. Chan, thank you for being here.
Let's stick around.
This is our show for tonight.